Welcome friends to another video. It's a different type of video than you're generally used to, but hopefully it will be good, and for anyone who's a budding actor or actress out there, I think it will be quite useful because obviously accents and dialects are a very important thing in the film, the TV and the stage industry. I'm in my third year of acting training at the moment. I've got one more year to go after this, and we've just started learning accents and dialects. I started learning IPA last year and I found it really helpful to understand sort of how English is formed and how we say words and why we say words in the dialect that we pronounce them in. And we've only just started applying them to the accents we're learning now, which is the general American accent, which hopefully I'm going to be able to teach you and also myself as well. This is going to be quite a useful thing for me to look back on and learn when I forget things, because obviously I'm going to start learning a few accents over a couple of weeks, and I just want to be able to come back and to remember the basics. I've got it all written down here, but sometimes it's better just to listen and pick up stuff from that and just remember the basic fundamentals of learning the Gen Am accent. So the first thing you want to do if you're learning a general American accent, especially if you're coming from an English or an Australian background where we speak a lot from our throats and the back of our mouths, is that everything is spoken right at the front of your mouth. So everything is articulated and it's bringing the sound from back here up to here. So bringing it from here to here. And that can still be a very Australian accent or a very English accent, but generally Americans, unless they have that southern drawl, the general American accent can be spoken straight from there. And a lot of the moves that are used, instead of sort of opening to like the O's and the normal stuff like that, usually the mouth is actually brought out into the E like that, and then widening up for things like often. Often and gold is when you get that rounding of the mouth. It's something like May is May. So like that is kind of brought out and like expanded out. Your lips are expanding to the sides and then they're opening for those really big sort of round sounds. The next thing I find that is really helpful for me is taking the word berry and it's berry. So berry, borrow, stuff like here, pair, pour, war, car. Just accentuate the R's on the end of those sounds, because obviously Americans, Australians will say car. You guys want to get in my car? And you're like, no, that's terrible. You're a terrible bogan. But they usually have that R colouring with spur on your schwa sounds. So like car, war, pour, yeah, shore, pier, weird, sergeant, dinosaur. That's generally kind of R-ing the sound, so that might be useful for you as well to do that. The last thing that I found is really important. Obviously I'm not teaching this whole dialect, of course, using IPA because it would take too long, and I've already spent like two-hour lessons trying to just grasp my head around it in the first place, so I don't want to make a 4-hour video for you. The last thing I want to put emphasis on in the American accent is that words like am, and, of, a, those kind of words that are, I don't even know the words for them, prepositions, all of those kind of filler words that aren't really the nouns or the verbs or the adjectives of the sentence. The not most important words of a sentence are usually schwad and moved on. Like you say them, but it's kind of like you quickly say them and you kind of go over them. So see, if I was to say in an Australian accent, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? In the American, it would be something like, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Summer's day is the most important part in that sentence, and compare as well is a very important part in that sentence. So to end the video off, I want to read out the Sonnet 18, which I've been practicing in my American accent for a while now, and hopefully I won't stuff up. But I want to just read that out and in the general American accent, and hopefully this can be a basis and a standpoint of comparison between the different dialects that hopefully I'm going to be doing. So here we go. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often in his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So that's basically all I have for you today with the general American accent. Hopefully that has taught you some tips about how to speak it and learn the dialect, and hopefully this will be a continuing series that I teach you some other accents. We are actually learning British RP in the next few weeks, and hopefully I'll be learning an Irish accent for a part that I have to play in a few weeks' time. If you are an American, please feel free to leave like a comment in the description below about how you thought my American accent went. It's a general American accent, so obviously it's not based on a specific place, but let me know anyway. Did I convince you? Did I not convince you? Did I do some tips? Did you learn some things about your own voice that maybe you don't know? Let me know, it would be great. So thank you very much for watching. Feel free to give it a like if you enjoyed. If not, that's alright, you don't have to, man. You can give it a dislike if you want. If that's your jam and your style, feel free to do you. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.